We know what is happening in Siaya County. And not even just Siaya County, so many counties going on. So, right now, you're going to have an issue with, I know they're going to tell us, look, we've got this wonderful stadium that has been put up in Siaya County. That was not even the stadium that was meant to be there, Yvonne.
Hello guys and welcome to Yvonne Magaya. So I did a video about Morara Kibaso and a friend of mine got interested. Akasema, Yvonne, please invite me. I want to talk about this topic. Amesema kumewaka. No, he has to be here. So guys, welcome my friend. Nitamwacha aseme jinake. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Moses and we've decided just to dissect Morara's story today because it looks like so many people are into finding out what is happening, who is this Morara, and that's why I felt like I have to speak to Yvonne and then find out, okay, fine, who is this guy and what's going on.
Yeah. Na unatoka wapi? Wewe ni wa wapi?
I come from Siaya County.
Hey, Siaya Kababa.
Yes.
Siaya
Why is it that people have got to insist on the Kababa thing so much?
No, because let me tell you, the only time I knew Siaya is Siaya Kababa. Most people were saying, I don't know it's a music or something. They say Siaya.
No, it's because it's Baba's place.
Oh, okay.
Bondo town is where Baba resides.
Okay.
So Bondo is in Siaya County.
Okay.
So Siaya Kababa. So
that's why it's called Siaya Kababa.
Yeah, Baba's home. So that is why you call it Siaya Kababa.
Okay.
Kwa Baba.
Hey.
It's not like the song, the Christian song, Naenda kwa Baba, Naenda kwa Baba. So it's Siaya Kababa. I mean Baba meaning Raila.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think it was a song.
Yes, it was also a song.
You guys, so Moses. Morara. Uliona vile interview ilikuwa fire?
We really have to look into this because, like I was telling you, we have totally gone to the level where the story about Gen Z's was this had now it had gone down.
Yes.
So Morara's interview has basically just lit up the fire, and then once again it's back to what people want it to be. It's going to be a big issue now because what we have now is we're going to have what we call village auditors. If you have to audit, and I've been saying this for a very, very long time, you need to audit what your MP is doing. You need to audit what your women rep is doing. You need to audit what your MC is doing. This has got to be open source now. What has happened, what Morara did is he's given a voice to the number one issue where you have got corruption in Kenya. Because when you open up a newspaper and then you're looking at Nation, you're looking at Standard, you're looking at this newspapers, 90% of half the page behind is basically tenders. Most of them government.
That's true.
Let us discuss about how do you do tendering in government, from counties to all this. When you do tendering, and this, you can even look at what John Alanamu had put up before with tendering, how tenders are done. It is just basically Yvonne's company that is dressed as a different name, and then you put your relatives, and then you hide those issues so that people don't see it. And that's a basic fact. If we really need to be able to deal with this thing, I tend to think that Morara has just addressed something that is very important. Become your village auditor. Barabara imetengenezwa. It was given to Yvonne. She was told, make 5 kilometers, make it look like this.
Pesa
ilitolewa. Simple. Yeah, let us deal with it that way. And so many people will find, I'm not going to hide about it. If you will go back to where I come from, what you just mentioned, Siaya Kababa, God, why are we lying? There is so much happening in Siaya County where people have basically stolen and looted huge amounts of money, and we are hiding behind it, and people don't want to talk about it. We know what is happening in Siaya County, and not even just Siaya County, so many counties going on. So, right now, you're going to have an issue with, I know they're going to tell us, look, we've got this wonderful stadium that has been put up in Siaya County. That was not even the stadium that was meant to be there, Yvonne, years ago. Our first governor was called Colin Rasanga. And James Orenga was basically the senator. For 10 years, this was the senator. He knew that that stadium was going to be built. That is not the original stadium that is there. And people are just basically saying, now, Sia residents are like, you know what, we're so happy we've got a stadium. Excuse me. We know. Pesa imeibwa.
Ni kama ilitengwa 10 million, 1 million ikatumika.
Yeah, we know. We know. We know. These are facts. We really need to get into getting back to audit our counties. We need to audit our counties, starting with the MCA. And we have to know, because I will not lie to people, the number one person who's going to be, and Gen Zs have got to really go back and look at their counties. This is something we can basically start with what you call the speaker. Because everything that happens is once we've said, we want to make this road, what happens is, it is taken to the speaker, they endorse that this is what has got to be. If you look at every speaker in every county, these are the richest people.
That's true.
Every speaker in every county is the richest person because they're the ones who pass these bills or what has got to happen. We've got to look at them. And I will say this. I feel that people are back onto the stories of the phone call and the call log. What is the elephant in the room? Mohammed Hussein has been in media for a very, very long time. And let's be very honest. If he wanted to divert, and which is what he was focused on, he wanted to divide the whole attention to this call log. The call log is there actually. If Morara felt like he has to cheat, I don't think this is a dumb person and he's been a lawyer. I don't think Morara would get the brain to basically cheat that the president lied. With all his brains, with all
And whom will you believe? Morara?
I believe Morara is saying the truth. I believe he's saying the truth. And let's get to the real issue at hand. What is the elephant in the room? Is it the call log or is it... Because Mohammed Hussein did not address the issue of all these other things that Morara talked about.
No, he was just addressing. He didn't even address the call log.
You know.
He didn't address it. He just said, I don't want to talk about it.
This issue of making the president look good, it's something that we really need to say. Our president is a pathological liar and that's the truth.
But now, for him, that is his job. If he says anything wrong, then he's gone.
So we should just let it go?
No, for us, as us, we cannot let it go. But now for him, he was protecting his job. And that's why he neither denied or agreed.
Yvonne,
he left it at that.
Wrong is wrong. Just because everyone keeps on doing it doesn't make it right.
That's true.
You cannot be able to have wrong things going on. And Mohammed Hussein shouldn't have called studio then. He should have just kept quiet and not called. He should have just let the interview go on. Because now it makes him look dumb as the spokesperson from State House. And I will say this. We need to be able to have a lot of other Moraras coming up. If we're going to let this fight to just be Morara's fight, I tend to think we are not addressing a lot of things as Kenyans. We are people who will look back and then we will be... You remember when the Gen Zs came out and Uganda was saying, God, we want to be able to be like this. And then, you had Museveni coming back and Museveni mentioning Babu and all this. And Bobby Wine is causing things happening. This is what needs to be done. We need to be able to have so many Moraras in us. That way you put your... I will say, I normally say you start from county. Not even county, you start from community. I come from a very small community called Morara.
From the village?
Yes, called Morara. You start from your community right there. Headmaster ni mbaya, anaingizanga watoto kwa shule na anakula pesa zile zinafaa. Mention those things na uite jina yake. Oduol Otieno, who is the headmaster of Mlaha High School, anaibanga pesa. We really have to have that conversation with our communities. If it is a road, you say our MCA of Township Ward, okay, this man has stolen money at Barabara and it was made like this. And even we have got this what we call open source. Open source is whereby tenders are just unaona. Yeah, you see. Open source is where the tenders are open and then you can be able to see. Most of these tenders are not given that way. Open source is you can be able to see Yvonne went and requested for the tender Nakapewa. She was given this much. But you see, when with the most tenders, what happens is they have, because I've happened to do tendering, And I will say this also, that you give me this opportunity. When we had Uhuru Kenyatta, there was what we call the 30% tenders that had got to be given to women, youth, and people with disabilities. You remember?
Yes, I remember.
They decided that they want to give tenders of government have got to 30% will go either to women, youth, or people with disabilities. You look at government tenders, uende uangalia hapo. Kama ilifanyika up to now, I will tell you how many people with disabilities have ever gotten a tender from the Kenyan government. Or how many women groups are able to, unajua, like, for example, let us be very honest. If we could be able to just say that we want to give a people with disability group a tender of supplying water to the county government, you think they would not be able to do it?
They will be able to do it. But
your youth are just basically there. I have been to the level where you are like saying, do you guys even know how to write a tender? They don't know, because they obviously know tender itafanya nini? Hatutapewa.
So unajua before unajiunga lazima ukuwe na connection.
Exactly.
Bila unakuwa connection ukiwa nayo, jua kuna kapesa lazima
utoe. That is why I'm saying it's necessary for us to go back to the drawing board.
Yes.
What Morara has done is,
and he's still doing.
Yes, and he's still doing. He has injected some fuel into something that needs to keep on going, but it doesn't need to just focus on the big projects. Kimwerer Dam, and we have all these huge projects going on. I am telling you the truth. The number one reason why money is being stolen from is this down upper chain, from upper EVMCA. And they really need to get scared. With what Morara has done, MCA aanze kuogopa, what did they say? Tunakusalimia. The women rep, tunakuja kukusalimia.
And another thing about nini yenye linisumbua pia sana. What do you think about the security of this guy? Unajua pia we have to look at the security of this
guy.
You
remember, let us dissect what he said. And he was very tactful when he addressed it. He said, my parents are worried about me. I have very young kids who are innocent. I go, but I take precautions. That was very tactful. And then, when he started his interview, he mentioned the way his parents and his grandfather had identified whoever had killed Tom Boyer and all that. He's very sharp upstairs. And then he told them, look, I'm going to leave this place without you knowing, or something of that sort. His security is a concern. But let us be very honest. Do you think right now, with whatever is happening, if anything happened to Morara, it's obviously the government? It's obvious.
That is what he said.
How would
the government will not even... It's like, I'm sorry, but it's like the time of Raila Odinga. Like, if anything happens at that time, at the opposition,
it is you.
But the politicians are they can play their cards and say somebody did something so that they can blame us.
Yvonne, and that is what you really need to look at. If that happens, it makes sure that now wamewakisha moto which cannot, because
cannot be
unless
or something.
You cannot just say that Morara disappeared. What are you saying? He is what? And he disappeared. Where? So for me, the way he said it is God who protects him right now, I tend to think that he has been able. It's going to force this government to look for a way of getting extra security. They're going to look for ways of looking for loopholes. Like the way he was saying,
his phone,
his phone is tracked, and then he's getting this funds from people. And we've discussed this with you. Like they'll come up with stories on, anapata pesa from some sponsor.
And I know right now they're thinking of who's
that
funding.
Is what they're going to look.
Because this government
Kenyans are not dumb. Kenyans are not that dumb.
Yes.
It has gotten to that level. I'll go back to what the president always say. Wajinga waliisha Kenya.
That's true.
It's a very important thing that people need to realize. We have to go back and say accountability. If we want to be able, and I'll tell Gen Zs this over and over again. We've got to go back, and like we've said before, let us get this whole, let us be like a river. Like when you put a river, a block hivi, itajaa alafu inatafuta tu penye na penye. Yes, they might have blocked you with all these mandamanos and all this, We go back to the drawing board. What do we need? Morara has come back and has revived it. It's another way. We need to be able to now look at how do you get to the level where you're getting into the next level of making sure, like this whole time of keeping pointing fingers and saying this and that has gone. Like, he has Raila, and they've come up with this new aspect of getting people. Forget about that. Leave it aside. Can you let them continue with what they're doing? Because we'll be very honest, getting an incumbent president out,
it is
the
hard.
Impeachment and all this
is
so
hard. I know.
So we only have one card, and that card is, how do we get young people to get the voters card? That would be a start. Getting a voters card and getting how to vote would be very, very important.